Oh, lucky day.
This is what it all comes down to, guys.
Can
Nine
you get Squid
episodes.
Game on DVD?
Don't know why.
No, just wondering. Would like it on DVD,
Don't know why.
wouldn't you?
Woo! That's what it all comes down to. 9 episodes, 6 games, a shitload of money, and it all comes down to two players.
The two best pals.
Ji-hun
He was a lawyer,
and
you know.
Sang-woo. Player 456 and player 218. So
I think it would have been cooler if he was half of 456. Like the number.
Well,
Oh well,
I
280.
was actually looking at it there, trying to add it together
Nah,
to
it's
get
just
it.
not.
Just not like.
No,
can't really-
it would
close,
have
but I mean-
436.
It's close, but
No,
4-3.
close, 436, 218. 18 add 18 is 36. What are you on?
He's 456 and he's 218. For him to be half.
He's 20 off.
No, he needed it to be 228.
I know he would have.
So what are you on about?
I'm talking about if you double 218, you get the 436.
Right.
So he's 20
Aye,
off.
so you need it to be
That's what I'm on about.
228, right?
That's alright.
Anyway, he's not 228, right? He's 218. It turns out they're playing Squid Games. The entire series started off with a flashback of these two being young.
A 3-on-3 Survivor
and,
Series match.
Playing a Squid Game, and it ends with these two playing Squid Game for not only each. It's not only for the money, but also for their life, because the loser will lose the game. Will lose their life. Ji-hun is playing as the offense. Sang-woo is playing as the defense. I mean, it's a weird fucking game. Like,
I think if you made it this long, you should maybe not die in the last game and the other person just get the money.
I know that's what it's up. But like, until they don't really care about. They say they care about fair and equality, like, but it's all about killing everybody. There can only be one. Well, I mean, the way the game's set out, I think there can be multiple winners, like,
Yeah.
but
Because what would they have done if Kang Z didn't drop dead or get murdered last episode?
yeah,
2-on-1 handicap match?
which wouldn't exactly be fair either. So,
Unless they would have tossed coins to see who goes, and it's like a slobber knocker match.
anyway, so they're led out to the arena. It's the same place as where red light, green light took place, and
Do you remember the way we are?
back then they were friends. Here they're not friends. They're definitely not friends. Sang-woo says he killed
Kang Z?
Kang Si because they didn't want those two to end the game. He thought because she was critically injured or whatever that they would have decided to like end the game there with the majority vote, and he'd been left with absolutely nothing, which I guess is pretty fair.
A shitload of PTSD.
Shitload of Pete. So then they get into it. Ji-hun makes his way into the squid tail. It's a weird game, right? Basically, you have to hop on one foot and get inside the circle, and then you need to touch the fucking squid's tail.
It's a bit pish.
And yeah, I mean, maybe in Korea this is considered a good game. To me, I'd consider it a bit of a mess, but yeah, it's
No,
what it is.
imagine there's no fight to the death here, and he just hops on one leg and gets in. How anticlimactic is this?
Yep. So the attacker is basically trying to get past the defender and touch his foot onto the squid
What happens?
tail.
What happens? Imagine you get paired up against Maldini here. You fucking
Good
shaft it.
Whereas the defender wins by pushing the attacker out of the squid. But these two kind of get inside the squid and then they just have a fight to the death. So you know, I guess the whole rules go out the window. Ji-hun's winning, then gets stabbed in the thigh. Sang-woo's winning. Sang-woo's about to kill him. He stabs him through the hand and he's trying to stab his head or something. And Ji-hun puts his hands up. Knife goes right through his hand, but sick. Looks like he's about to die. He's about to get stabbed.
The best course of action here for Suham would have just, when he stabbed him through the hand, to pull it out again and then stab him in the head. Because he's trying to push it through his hand with all his body weight pushing back at you. It's just never going to work.
True. And then Ji-hun bites the ankle of Sang-woo and tears a bit of flesh out like a zombie. This means this gets Sang-woo off him, then it's Ji-hun on top of Sang-woo. He's beating him up. Grabs a knife. Could stab him in the throat. Decides to stab the knife into the dirt, and he's just going to go and win the game the normal way. Doesn't want to kill him. Just going to go and tap his foot in the wee tail. But as he goes to do so, he sees the manager, the triangled face dude or the square face dude.
One of the top guys.
He's ready to shoot Sang-woo as soon as the
Game is over.
Ji-hun touches the squid tail. So he goes back. And yeah, he pleads with him to end the game. Says, "Why don't we have a majority end the game?" They have a wee conversation. You think, see, when I first thought this, and I thought Sangwoo was going to, see when he was reaching for his hand, I thought Sangwoo was going to attempt to
Kill him.
aye,
Yeah, I thought he was gonna turn heel once again.
but he doesn't. He actually turns face. He says something like, "Take care of my mother" or some shit like this.
Kills himself,
And
buddy.
yeah, grabs the knife and stabs himself, and Ji Hun's absolutely devastated. Just lost his. And I mean, it's in here. It's like he just realizes here, this guy's actually my childhood friend, and
Sad. And look at this game made us become.
yep.
Dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun.
And then he kind of just dies
And he walks away.
while Ji Hun is there trying to cradle him, but he's dead. He's pissing down with rain,
He's pissing it with blood.
and he's pretty much made the winner. I don't know. I don't know why people hated Sang-woo so much. Honestly.
He did what he had to do.
People don't hate him though because he pushed that guy through the glass, or because he killed Kang. So they hate him because of what he did with Ali. But I still think what Ji Hun done was just as bad.
Exactly.
What is the difference?
He literally, he took advantage.
Well, they both took advantage.
Alright, they both took advantage, but I would honestly say what our main guy did was worse. Because that...
Ali's a functioning brain, whereas our main character thought the old guy was fucked.
Aye, and he... And also, like, yes, obviously, Kang, or what's his name? Kang Hoon. He, obviously, like, he shafts Ali, right? But he technically still had one marble left, you know?
No.
He could have, maybe... Alright.
It always has.
Point
that
is,
one.
right, I just don't see how you can justify one or the other. Probably because... But their logic is, oh, but the old man was the top man all along. Aye, but he didn't know it.
I know.
So,
But you think about it, people don't really. I mean, see if they say, well, look what he done to Ali, then he went and pushed that guy, and then he killed Kang Se. I mean, people don't really care about that. The reason they hate him is, oh, he fucking betrayed Ali.
well, fuck Ali, right? Because he fucking chopped his boss's fingers off and hoovered all the money off all the workers.
Yep.
Not just...
I know.
he actually shafted all the workers.
All the people that were working there may have lost their jobs because, who knows, the boss may have went out of business. No money, no fingers. Could have been the end of him. So, I mean, who knows? Don't know what's happening.
Oh, but he saved our main character in red light, green light. Fuck him. He's pish.
So then, yeah, Sang-hoo mutters my mom, and then he dies. So Ji Hun is congratulated. He is
By the front man.
Yeah, he's
In a limo.
Front man comes up. He's in the limo with him. Front man says congratulations. Ji Hun says, "How can you do this?" He wants to know who the front man is. Front man says, "We're no different from you. You gamble on horses on a racetrack. We gamble on
human
you
beings."
guys. You guys are our horses." I kind of like the front man. I think it's a shame that we
Didn't
never
do
got
more,
more unmasked scenes with him.
I don't know, but what gets me, right? Like, our main character says, how can you do this? But it seems like he's only bothered when it affects his friends in the game. Fuck the other 450 people. You know what I mean?
Mm.
They're all human. And he won, so fuck up.
I just don't think he has much of a leg to stand on once he goes back. It's like when he's originally there, you know, after the green light, if the majority vote is to keep the game going, then I think he can rightfully complain about being there because you didn't know what you were signing up for.
Yes.
But after the first game, you basically know that this is a slaughterhouse and that, you know what I mean, you are all expendable and these people are betting on your death. I mean, he knew that.
I know.
Yet he decided to go back. So how can he really take the moral high ground? I don't think he can.
Exactly. Maybe because he thinks he won. He thinks he's fucking the top man now.
Well, he kind of is the top man. Anyway, he keeps demanding to know who the front man is. Front man just puts his mask on while our main character's blindfolded. The
He gets
gas
gassed.
comes on, knocks him out, and then the next minute he is dropped off at the side of the road. Some wee homeless guy comes and checks if he's alright. He spits
No,
up.
it was a Jesus preacher.
My Jesus preacher. Spits up a card. It turns out to be his new bank card.
Could you imagine? That guy could have fucking took it off him.
I know. He goes to the bank. He doesn't know his PIN. He types in his number and first time lucky. I mean, it's weird that he couldn't get into his mother's bank account, but he could get into this bank account. He didn't even have a clue what the password was. He's got a shitload of money. I think it's like 46 billion. Won. even though it's probably about 2 pence in British money. Like, but he's got a shitload of money. He takes out one note, and he goes and buys himself some beers.
Yep. And then he goes to his house. Mama, are you awake? No, she's dead. And she's been dead a couple of days by the looks of it. And then, obviously, guys, if you remember back in episode 2, he swore on his mother's life that he wouldn't attack Kanzi, but then he did.
Yep, and she's dead. So there you go.
So get it right, Rooney. He's a fucking waster.
We've also got Mrs. Chu there. Sang-woo's mother. She asks about her son. Ji-hun's just unable to look at her. Just keeps his head into the ground and walks off. So I mean, she hasn't heard anything from the guy. Then he gets back to his house, his mother's dead. Then we get a bit of a time skip.
Yeah, like 6 months or something?
Yep. Nothing has happened.
He's not spent anything.
I think it's a year. His bank manager calls him in to talk. He's kind of given up in life, I guess. He's depressed. Mental health's kicking in.
Oh no. Time for a wee kidnapping sesh.
The bank manager tells him you barely touched your fortune.
Would you like to put it in savings account?
And Ji-hun just asks for the minimum amount that you can take out, because he wants to go and buy beers and sit at the beach and get drunk.
And then he receives a flower with a wee Squid Game.
Yep, yeah. Flower
invitation
seller
hanging
begs him to buy a flower. He buys it. The wee Squid Game cards on it. It tells him to go to some building, the Seoul Sky building.
Oh.
He goes there. He sees a bed, and it's Il Nam.
It is number one
of the century. What a heel turn this is. So,
aye, he reeks a pish.
number one. We thought he died in episode 6. Turns out he's not. He's alive.
I wouldn't say alive and kicking though.
No,
He's
he's
alive and pishing.
Ji-hun's furious.
How could you do it?
Asks questions. There's some drunk guy lying outside. Il Nam says that if he has one more bet with him, he'll reveal all his questions. He'll answer all his questions. They bet whether the guy's going to get help before midnight or whether he'll die. And then number one proceeds to talk about how he had so much money and he was bored. Essentially, that's it. He had money, he was bored, and so he decided to do these games.
Sounds like fun, like.
He questions why Ji-hun hasn't spent his money. Ji-hun's kind of furious. The old man says he wasn't lying about everything, that the brain tumour's real and he doesn't have a lot of time left.
Probably about 10 minutes at this stage.
Yep. Then they continued to talk. I mean, it is what it is. And then, just before the clock strikes midnight,
But Ji-hun, right, he could have saved this guy out in the street.
I don't know, so he just looked on.
He already knew. Like, what's the difference if number one explains his actions? He's a bad guy at the end of the day.
Just before the clock strikes midnight, the drunk man gets some help. The police arrive to help him, and then Il Nam, number one, just dies right there. It's almost like he lost his bet and he gave up and he just passes away. And that's it. That's him out the game. So he dies peacefully in his bed.
Or is he?
Not quite. Who knows? Maybe he's pretending to be.
He died once.
And then
Front man closes his eyes for him.
Yeah, the front man arrives. Ji-hun's already gone by this stage. Front man closes his eyes, and I mean, who knows what's going to happen now? Is the front man going to be the new game master? Or who knows?
Maybe his brother will be the new front man.
And Ji-hun goes to get a haircut. Don't know why. Gets one of the worst fucking haircuts you can get.
Yep.
Goes to the orphanage where he picks up Kang Se's little orphan brother. Takes him to Mrs. Chu. Why would Mrs. Chu want a wee kid? She's already got one waster of a son that's dead. Why does she want some wee kid that's not related? I know I don't get, right? This is a year later. And I thought he was in... Sang-woo was in apparently all this debt, and he remortgaged her house and all this and her business.
So how's she alright?
Yeah. I don't get that. Surely she should be sitting at home with nothing, or not even having a home.
Exactly.
So I don't know if it's something I didn't pick up on or if this is like a wee plot hole, but
probably a plot hole.
She's still there.
Because when you check his bank account, it's only the money he took out for beer.
Yeah.
It's not like he. You know what I mean?
So I don't see.
And I doubt they would wait a year to repossess it. That's the thing that would be done pronto.
Yeah.
Plot hole.
So I don't understand it. gives her a suitcase and gives her the wee kid, and then he takes off. Mrs. Stew says, "Oh, it's cold outside, wee man. Let's see if we've got any warmer clothes in here." Opens the briefcase,
That's pretty warm.
and it's a shitload of money with a wee note saying, "This is the money that I owe Sangwoo." He didn't owe Sangwoo shit, but I guess he wants Sangwoo's mother to think. So maybe Mrs. Chu thinks that Sangwoo got in debt helping out
Him?
him. You know,
I know.
I don't know. I don't know where they go for this, but here at least she gets a lot of money. Still hasn't seen her, heard from her son.
Tell you what, though,
In a year.
I don't give two shits about her and this wee kid. I don't want to see them in season 2.
No, well,
Think we will?
I'd say she was a better character than the wee kid. Like, I think the wee kid only had like 2
I
scenes.
know, but they're both pissy curs.
Well,
They've got 10 quid to spend.
then Ji Hung
He's walking at
walks
the
out.
airport.
He's decided he's going to go and see his daughter in America. They're already gone by now, so yeah. Hang about it.
The whole reason he actually did this
See,
game.
you hang about it though. It's fucking mad. That again, that doesn't make much sense to me. He needed the money so he could provide for his daughter, and he won that money.
I just,
But in this, and within that year where he was just sitting at home doing absolutely nothing, they took his daughter to America. So why didn't
he could have
at the
just did
time,
that anyway.
Why didn't he step in and go, "Ah, no, wait, you're not going. I've got here's money."
I know. 'Cause he's a fucking no kids, no money. Well, he's no kids' money.
See, maybe in Korea, like the father's got the majority say, like, because I think that's the way they would be. Not like over here where like 99 times out of 100 the mother gets custody. Maybe in Korea, if you're the father and you can provide, they're like, "Ah, well, you can have custody."
That's it.
But he obviously did do nothing. A year later, decides he's going to go to America. He gets off the plane. I mean, he gets off the train, and he sees the salesman playing Diaki with another man on the side of the station. That was the game that lured him in to getting called up to the Squid Games. The whole thing where you have to flip the other person's card. He runs over to try and get the guy, but the guy is already into the train and he takes off. So he furiously grabs the card from the man that was playing, tells him not to go. Later, Ji-hun is boarding a plane, but he stops and he calls the number on the card. He dials the number, the front man answers.
I am not a horse, I am a human.
He warns Ji-hun not to get involved and board the plane for his own good. Ji-hun's about to board the plane, but then he turns back. Obviously, maybe not wanting to put his daughter in danger, but also wanting to go back and get revenge on the Squid Game people.
But what's he going to be able to do?
Yeah, they're not going to accept them into the game.
And it's not like, well, what can he do single-handedly? He's going to get drugged again. If he has any sense, he'd hire fucking mercenaries.
Yeah, but he's got the money, like, hasn't he?
Exactly. So I mean, I don't know if that's what his end game is, but
So I mean, who knows? We end with Ji-hun deciding he's not going to America, but we don't really know what he's decided to do. He surely can't be going back into the games because I don't think they would allow you back in, especially with the front man knowing the Ji-hun is kind of like, out to get revenge. He's just not going to allow him back into the complex. Or maybe you could argue like, they would want him back in so they can get killed.
maybe it'll be like, I don't know how many. Maybe it's like the 50th anniversary and they want a winner back in or something.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So, who knows? But that's how it ends, guys. That's how this episode ends.
They mention the front man's brother. Year time skip. Where's he? We don't know. Maybe he's a contestant. Maybe they've patched him up. He's a contestant in this year's games.
Maybe, or maybe he's
Part it.
maybe he's planning his revenge as well. Him and Ji-hung teaming up for season 2.
Let's make this match a tag team match. Play up.
Right, anyway, guys, that's it. That is the end of the last episode. One lucky day. I think it was alright. Well, not the greatest episode, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I'll
good
give it
couple of good reveals. I feel like it was a pish final game.
Yeah, I'll give a 7.5.
He dyed his hair. It was pretty stupid, but it sets up season 2 nicely. I'll give it a 7.
After this was over, I wanted to see another episode. Put it that way.
Yep. But I guess we'll get another season.
Or will we? I don't know.
Of course, the amount of money this made.
Yeah.
Of course, it's fucking.
Some people are strange, though. Some people are like, oh no, I don't want to jeopard. But the way it's set up, like it's set up for a season 2, like.
It's set up for at least something, at least a movie.
Aye.
Alright then, that's us. What, so a 7.25 out of 10 for the finale. I believe, what, I can't remember what the last one, I think it was 41 out of 60, was it? No, but it was 80, so 80, I think it was like,
No, I think you're on a bit. Will it get to 50? So I think it was a bit higher than that.
it must have got over 50, guys, but anyway, who gives a fuck? No, I was talking about 2/3. I think we only need it like 4 for it to get over
Right.
66, so it did. You know what, it's around the 67, 8, 9, 70 region. So what would you give this show out of 10?
Give it a solid 8, even though.
I don't understand.
Even though, like, overall, if you add up all the 8, but that's not really how you do it, like, you know what I mean?
I know.
I'd say it's an 8 out of 10, like.
Yeah, so we'll give it an 8 out of 10. I agree with that. I feel like it could do stuff a lot better, you know?
I mean, I think some people make it as if it's the best thing ever, and it's not. But it is good. I did enjoy it.
Exactly, guys. And it doesn't have much of a cast left, you know? Like, how's this show going to work? I don't see how this show goes 5 seasons, because, you know what I mean?
I think a wee bit more diversity, like, and I'm never one to preach diversity, but I think a wee bit more diversity
Oh, why?
would have helped it, like, yeah.
And I think there needs to be more bad people in the Squid Games. Like, apart from Snake Tattoo Guy, everyone was kind of pally.
I guess he had his gang, didn't he?
I know, there was like 4 of them. And were they really bad, or were they not just fucking with him?
No, that's true. Like.
You know what I mean? Anyway, though, we'll give it an 8 out of 10. What are we reviewing next? The Walking Dead, big man?
Walking Dead, if you want it, you'll get it. One last note, what I would say is, I think they should have just built up more characters. The contestants, I would have liked to have.
Yeah, like, seeing the Stepping Stone game, they killed like 4 of them off screen. We didn't even know who the fuck they were. And by that point, there's no excuse not to have built some up.
Yeah, like, and the guy that is 4th last, the guy who worked as a glassmaker, we didn't even know he existed, really, did we? Up until that scene.
I know.
Therefore, when he gets pushed off, it's like you're not really giving a shit. Again, the tug of war. The two teams, the two games that we see on screen.
Everyone we've seen before?
That die. I don't recall seeing them up until that point.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the first team that went up against the all-men team?
Aye.
And we said, oh, well, the front guy looked no bad, but the rest of his team was pish. I don't recall seeing any of them.
I guess when there was like
that
456 people, it's hard to build them all, but...
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like,
They only built up about 20, and if that, fuck, 20's probably an
well, maybe if there was more diversity and you had like, oh, there's a white person there, and there's a Brazilian there, oh, and there's an African there, then maybe...
And that's what I'm thinking, cause it's like betting, would they not like that? Like, would they not like a bit of diversity?
I don't know.
Because, like, no offense, but all your Koreans, I mean, they're all like... If everyone's the same race, especially over there, like, they're all like the same height and shit. It would be cool to see if someone was like 6'8" in these games. Like a Brock Lesnar.
How much money would you stuck in him?
Exactly.
I'd have stuck the whole 46 billion woo on him.
Imagine Brock Lesnar jobbing it in the Marbles game though. Wouldn't have bought that. Anyway though, till next time, 8 out of 10.
Peace.
Yeah.